Hello everybody. Today I'm going to make a video on how to prepare a car for the elements. This is my friend's 2015 Golf R. We take you through the whole steps from washing to polishing to sealing and waxing and the whole thing. So just a kind of a brief overview. I don't do this professionally. It's not my job. It is my hobby. I've got lots of experience with it with my own vehicles and other people's. But I was asked to make this video to see how I do things that I do. So this obviously is a new vehicle, so it's going to be pretty easy. Doesn't need a whole lot of correction. Mostly just a little bit of swirl mark remover maybe, and some polishing, just to make it to where we can put the sealant and the wax, protect it for the time to come. So it's a pretty clean vehicle. We're not going to wash it with the stuff over here. Usually what we'll do, if it was really dirty, for a good wash, I use the Chemical Guys citrus washing gloss, 2-bucket method with grit guards, everything like that. Obviously needs a good shake, but it's a pretty clean vehicle. What instead we've used is we've got the Optimum No Rinse solution. It's a waterless car wash. It's good because today it's about maybe 40 degrees. We've had snow for a couple of days, so we don't want to wash it that much outside. And over here in the buckets, we've got these 2 buckets. One of them is our wash water, one of them is our rinse water. Both of them at the bottom, if you haven't seen one of these, is a grit guard. What this does is keeps the contaminants, dirt, and things like that from scratching up the car. And what you're going to do is, after you wash a panel with the wash water, you get it all clean one panel at a time. You'll dunk it in the rinse water, kind of rub it around down there underneath the grit guard. That's going to help get all the dirt stuff off of it, and then you can go back to your wash water, do another panel, and so on. With the Optimum No Rinse, we're going to be able to do a panel, dry it off immediately, keeps us from having drips and things like that. Just a good quick detail. Don't have to go through the whole thing with soap and water and blowing it out and getting the drips out and everything like that. So let's start it. Alright, so here's a couple of the products that I use. Some of these are new to me, but should work similar to what I've used in the past here. So I kind of talked about the wash and gloss that I like to use. This little guy here is actually really neat. This is a wash mitt the Chemical Guy makes, but it's also a good, kind of has a clay bar side to it. So for this new vehicle, there's not going to be a whole lot of contaminants, so we can just wipe it with this without having to use a tiny little piece of clay, and it take hours and hours. So a good deal. It's about 50 bucks. For my polisher, I use the Porter Cable 7424 XP. Really good polisher for somebody that's a beginner as well as somebody that's been doing it a long time. Keeps the swirl marks from getting ground into the paint for something big and heavy like a rotary. So for correction, I've got a little sample size here for the Chemical Guys V-Series cuts, 32, 34, 36, and 38, from obviously heavy scratches to light scratches, everything in between. Don't plan on using too much of it, maybe a little bit of the 38 for this vehicle. For pad maintenance, I use Blackfire. That's the pad conditioner, a couple of sprays to start with, get the pad moist, that way you can start using it. Don't want to dry buff. For the pads, I'm trying out some new ones here. Another Chemical Guys setup, Hex Logic, the 5.5 inch backing, so a little bit smaller than what I've been using. Another good source is AutoGeek.net. Used a lot of their stuff, but switched over to Chemical Guys here lately. For the first time, I'll be trying out this Jet Seal, as well as the Concourse 50/50. That's a set that they sell together. It's got 2 applicator pads, a couple of towels to go with it. Really good stuff from what I hear. Obviously sealants, you can choose whatever you like. This is something I've been looking forward to trying out for a while, so keep a lot of stuff with me. If I was going to be doing a little bit more of a traditional wash here, I do have the foam cannon. Again, Chemical Guys, using the Honeydew Snow Foam. This would obviously coat the vehicle as a pre-wash. I do have a little pocket hose that I keep in my car usually for detailing. On the go, never know when I might need a little bit extra hose. And then random stuff throughout the deal here. towels and different polishes and things like that that I use throughout the process. Most of the time, I'll just keep some new ones. New microfiber towels, very important to keep those clean. I've got a bag full of them, just depending on what we're doing on the vehicle. So let's get started washing this thing. All right, so before we get started, there's something I want to tell people. It may seem kind of easy, everyone should know it, but it's something that I've learned that some people don't know. When you wash a vehicle, I always tell myself never to go across the vehicle. Everything that we do in this car is going to be from front to back. It's kind of the way to think about it is, no matter what you're doing, if you're touching this vehicle, you're scratching it. It's about hiding the scratches that you're making by hiding it in your eyes. So if you had a scratch that was across this fender here, you wouldn't be able to see it as easily as if somebody had scratched it, you know, from wheel to wheel versus front to back. So it's about hiding the scratches. Everything that we do, we're going to go from front to back. So when we wash, we're going to put it down on here, and again, just front to back. Kind of wipe it with one side, turn it over to the other, do another quick wipe. And then into the rinse bucket. Rub it on that grit guard. Bring it out. Drop it back in the wash bucket. So I need to grab my dry towel here, which waffle leaves are really, really the best ones to use for drying. They're soft. This one has the satin edges, so you want to fold it up. You can use it in big sections. Just set it down on the paint from what you just worked. Slide it across. Again, even the drying from front to back. Alright, just like that. So that's one fender down. We're going to do the rest of the car just like that, from the hood, doors, and everything. So here we go. Alright, so we've got the car clean now. It's all washed. Next thing to do, we found that there's a little bit of swirling here, just some really, really fine touches from maybe going through a car wash when it got picked up. Short on time there, so just ran through the car wash. So we'll get all this stuff cleaned up. But before we can do any polishing, it's really important to see if you have any contaminants. Obviously it's clean, it's really smooth to the touch, but there is a little trick that you can do to see if there's any surface contaminants. So if you just get a Ziploc bag, just any Ziploc bag, you can put your hand into it, and what you can do is you can actually touch the paint and just lightly run your fingers over it. What it's going to do is it's going to kind of enhance the feel, because your skin's really thick, everything like that. So this kind of gives it a nice smooth touch, and I can feel that there's actually little bumps, almost like little pieces of glass that are on the paint. So only thing that this means is that we do need to hit it with the clay, or either the mitt or a clay bar, either one, and it'll take off all those surface contaminants that you can't see, can't feel, but when you put your hand in Ziploc, you can feel little bumps. So we need to get all that off before we do any polishing. Otherwise, you can run into kind of grinding that stuff into the clear with the polisher. So you want to take all that off before you do any kind of polish. So that's what we'll do next. I'll probably just use the mitt since it's very light. Some people don't really care to mess with getting all that stuff off because it's so light, but it's there, so we're going to take it off. Let's go ahead and do that. Alright, cool. So what we're going to do is have the clay lubricant. This is just the Pinnacle brand. You can use any kind of lubricant that you like. You can mix up some of the Opto No Rinse to use another version of clay lube. Again, we have the Chemical Guys kind of dual side here. You can see it, it's actually kind of sticky to the touch here. So it's, again, kind of like a clay there. So it works really well. Just make sure that whenever you use this clay, any kind of clay, whether it's the mitt or the tiny little clay bar, just make sure you keep it really, really lubricated. itself and the piece that you're working on. So we'll come over here, we'll do small pieces at a time. So for example, I like to think of like if you were to put down a detailing cloth, that's the section that you want to work. So just make sure it's nice and lubricated. Put it flat down against the paint surface, and you can just work it in a back and forth motion. Again, it's just gripping those little contaminants, and you might not be able to hear it, but you can hear kind of a little, almost like a scraping noise. All it's doing is kind of lifting it off. You'll feel a little bit of resistance when you first start, and then as it starts to get clean, it'll start sliding across the paint without any resistance. So I kind of start with a small area and open it up to a little bit bigger, and then from there you'll just wipe it off with another towel that you use, so another waffle weave or a detailing towel, doesn't matter. You'll just clear that piece off and start on the next side. So just be careful with any kind of lines, creases, things like that. Anytime that you're working on it, whether it's polishing or clay bar or anything like that, you just don't want to grind anything too much on there. So just be attentive to what you're doing, and you know, use your fingertips. You can kind of just do the pieces that you want to work, and we're going to do that to the whole car. Alright, so I wanted to show real quick you know, what we're doing with the clay. Obviously I talked about the hand and how you can feel it, but you know, for heavy contaminants, sometimes you can hear it on the paint, especially if it's something that's an older car. Maybe, you know, I did a 2010 Evo 10, and it had a lot of heavy oxidation, so you know, we could hear it when you touch it. I actually found a spot here on the windshield. You can actually hear it. Really rough sounding, and actually already treated this side of the windshield, and you can really hear that there's no, you know, scratchiness to it. So that's what we're doing with the clay bar. Again, if you've never used one before, just basic information, really convenient to do, definitely worth it, especially when you start hearing the difference. Alright, so we've got the car all clay bar and everything. It's looking good, nice and smooth. Again, we're going to work on getting the imperfections out, little swirl marks and everything. So I have my porter cable. This is the 7424 XP. Again, trying out some new products. This is a 5.5 inch Hex Logic through Chemical Guys. I have their whole setup. It came with 8 things, including conditioner and everything like that. So this is the green pad. I've decided to try using the V36. This is kind of a 2500 grit sand scratch remover. You can use this as an all-in-one, so it'll take off the swirls as well as cut it down enough to move on to the next step, which is going to be glaze and then sealant and wax. So this will be my go-to. It's not, you know, heavy enough to where I'm going to have to follow it up with a swirl mark remover or finishing polish. It's going to do the job well. So before I start working on this, again, I mentioned that you need to kind of prep the pad a little bit. It came with some conditioner with the kit. It's concentrated. I didn't have an extra spray bottle, so I already had this Black Fire conditioner. So a couple of sprays onto the pad just to kind of moisten it a little bit. You don't want to have a dry pad and then start working on polishing it, because it's just going to be really scratchy. So we'll condition it a little bit, a couple sprays there. Then, you know, this stuff here, you'll just shake it up like any polish. And a little bit goes a long way. So we'll do a couple of drops throughout the pad there. And a lot of really professional detailers have really expensive, fancy LED lights that will show scratches and everything perfectly. We're in a garage. Again, I don't do this for a living, so we've just decided to use a little bit of light here. I can see the scratches, but I'm basically going to treat the whole car as if the whole thing was covered, so might as well just give it a good fresh start. So you can go to Chemical Guys. It has a lot of how-tos and everything, so you can use a slow speed, like it has a dial here. You can use the #1 speed. And once you have the product in an area here, you want to start with a small space. You'll end up working. Alright, so we got almost the whole passenger side done, finishing up on the roof. One thing I'll tell you about technique really quickly is just you know, when you're reaching over the vehicle, it's really convenient, and it's what I do, is to put the cord around the back of your neck, so that way you still can move it around, pull it around and everything like that, but you're not rubbing up the paint, slapping it or anything like that, and then that way you have, you know, full range of motion, everything that you're doing here. One thing I'll say, when I use this pad, when we started, I sprayed just 2 little mists of the conditioner. It wasn't enough. It was still kind of dry buffing a little bit, so had to put a couple more sprays on there and work it a little bit slower there to not get any kind of marring or anything. So had to go over those passes. So a couple more sprays. The first couple of passes will be really kind of moist, but as it starts to absorb it and slide across there, it'll dry up a little bit. So we'll keep working on the roof here, and then we'll go to the other side and keep it going. So again, this is just last little section to show you how I make these passes, and we'll keep going. So one thing I'll say is that it's important to keep the pad kind of flat to the surface. You don't want to put it on any kind of crazy angles. Obviously, that's where a lot of damage, things like burning the paint, can come into play. So nice and flat. Again, you can use your hands wherever you need it to be comfortable to give it a flat pad. Obviously, we have the backing plate, and it's foam, so it absorbs some of the movement for tight spots and things. But obviously, you don't want to go in there at a 45-degree angle and just tear everything up. So nice and flat and smooth. Sometimes you'll see one hand from the top. Alright, so we've got half the car done with the polish and everything, so that we're not wasting time because I've got to do the other half and everything. I'm going to do the black light radiant finish. This is a glaze, so it's kind of a filler, but a good application before putting any sealant and then wax. So it covers up any minute scratches that still might be there. Obviously, we got pretty much everything out of it. The glaze is just a little bit of a filler, you know, but the reason we put the sealant and the wax over it is because, you know, if you were to put this on there and leave it, it's going to look really good, but the first time you wash it, it's going to take all of it out. So we're going to put it on there and follow it up with the sealant and then the hard wax after that. So using the directions from Chemical Guys, this one offers the red pad, speeds no greater than 4 on the PC, and we're going to try it out. It says to leave it on there for about 15 minutes. After 15 minutes or so, you can wipe it off with another clean microfiber. I'll have a separate one to wipe it off with. And it says to do another application if you want, but to wait 30 minutes. So we'll play it by ear, at least try it out with this one. So no pressure at all on this one. It's a very, very soft pad. Literally just spreading it across here. So got a little bit more on it so we can work a bigger area. We'll see what it looks like. Sometimes I'll just kind of tap it get some of the product across. Wash my pants there. Not putting any pressure. The only thing we're doing by the machine is applying it. Set for 15 minutes, and then we'll get another clean microfiber and wipe it off. And meanwhile, I'm going to start on the other side. Obviously, I'm not going to mess with the roof or the hood right now. Just start with the fenders and doors, and we'll come wipe this off. All right, so we've got the whole car polished now. Done the left side with the black light, which is the glaze. I went ahead and did it by machine, let it sit for 15 minutes, wiped it off, did it by hand. Another 15 minutes, wiped it off, waited 30 minutes before I applied what we're doing now, which is the jet seal sealant. Prefer to do this by hand. Obviously, a little bit goes a long way with the sealant, especially this. This is really, really thick, thicker than the other sealant I used to use. So you have to be really careful. I put a bunch of it on there when I thought I was doing a little bit. So now that the pad has some soaked up into it, a couple of dots kind of work it into the applicator pad. I kind of just smear it across there. You can see it's really thick. And that's, I mean, you wouldn't want to have it that thick and close to it. So you'll work it across. And you'll move it to another area. Then you can see that this side has the black light that's been sitting. It's about to get wiped off, so I'll wipe off this side while this side cures, and then kind of switch it back and forth. So there we go, we're almost done. The paint on this car is looking amazing. Lots and lots of metallic, obviously. So we will finish up here shortly. All right, cool, so we're back. The jet seal has been curing for a little over 15 minutes. I bought the combo that came with the 50/50 wax to go on top afterwards. It came with these nice, really soft towels. The only thing I'm going to use these for is taking off the jet seal and taking off the wax. So remember I said that I put it on a little thick here. Turns out it's okay. This comes off really easy. I mean, it's like butter. This is really impressive. Again, first time I've used this product. I've used some really good sealants, and I'm really impressed with this one. I put it on the glass as well, because obviously, who doesn't want to have really beady water windows as well as paint? So, not going to hurt it to put it on glass. Again, some products don't like to go on glass because it sticks. Hard to get off, but I mean, I'm barely putting any kind of effort to clear this, and it's coming right off. So really excited for this jet seal. So the last thing is I'm going to do another coat after this. Let this, take it all off, let it sit for about 20 minutes. I'll put a second coat on by hand, and then same thing, 15-minute cure time. Take it off, wait 20 minutes, and then we'll top it with the wax. May or may not do the wax tonight. It's about 6:20. Been at it since about 12, so I want to get some rest at some point. So anyway, good news is jet seal, even if you put it on a little heavy, still comes off really easy, and the depth of shine in this is just crazy. So really excited. So check back in with us here in a little bit. Alright, so it's 8 p.m. It's about 8 hours after we started. Obviously it's dark outside, but we finished the car. The only thing we didn't get to do today is actually the hard wax, the Concourse 50/50. We're going to wait till tomorrow to put it on. That way it's got plenty of time for the sealant to cure and everything. And then we'll put that hard protectant on there. So we'll do a little walk around here, but obviously it's very, very reflective. You can get a close up on that and see how it looks. The paint is amazing. One thing you can't see when you're, with this GoPro, I don't know if it'll show it or not, but just how much flop that metallic has. It's really impressive, and obviously, you can't feel the paint through video stuff, but it's really, really smooth to the touch, even before putting that wax on there. So it's going to be something that can be driven in the rain without, just relentless beating. It's not going to cause any dirt to stick to it. So I'm really excited. Again, my name's Taylor. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I did okay for the very first how-to video I've ever done. So again, some of it might be kind of cheesy, but something that I put together because I was asked to. So it's a beautiful car. Thanks, Russell, for having me over and letting us do this. And that's it. See you later.